I am curious to hear how you shifted from not advising divorce, because she realized I used to be that way, to divorce the narc and making this your focus in counseling, which is exactly what I do. What flipped the switch? Here's my response to this lady. And to all of those of you who may wonder, wow, because I did a lot of work with a focus on the family back in the day. I still love them. And if they stay out of the narc lane, they're great. But I did a lot of focus on the family videos, which you can look up if you want, about saving a marriage. Okay, a non-narc marriage where there's not a narc in the marriage, different story. I would never recommend divorce for that. But we've shifted with God's guidance into this new ministry. Here's my response to this lady. I spent 35 years working with couples and never recommended divorce. Never one time. But as God moved us into this narcissist codependent area, I realized the following things. I'm talking to her, I'm talking to you. One, the narc monster does such incredible damage to his spouse and children. It is far worse than just a miserable, unhappy marriage. Oh, far worse. We're talking destruction, betrayal, trauma at epic levels. Two, the narc is evil without a conscience and will not change. If you're not a narc, you can certainly change. I saw people change all the time after 35, 40 years of working with married couples where there wasn't a narc. When you have a narc, he ain't going to change. Period. Three, the narc is not a Christian, and here's why he's not going to change. Three, the narc is not a Christian, is simply unable to repent, and therefore unwilling and unable to change. Four, most pastors, most of the Christian community, in fact, deny the reality of the abuse, or they blame the victim, or they just don't care. Five, these Christian leaders and helpers urge the abused spouse to stay in the marriage. They do not believe she has a biblical right to divorce the abusive narc. Frankly, neither did I for a long time. Six, 98% of the Christian community believes in only two biblical reasons for divorce. This is it: adultery or the abandonment by an unbelieving spouse. The nasty truth is they don't want you to divorce for these biblical reasons either. They'll say, yeah, okay, adultery, we'll grant you that. Abandonment by the unbelieving spouse, okay, fine, which is legitimate, but they don't want you to divorce no matter what the reason. They don't care if you're being destroyed. 8, I also believed in only the two reasons for divorce. I had been taught this at the two seminaries I graduated from. Godly men teaching me, and women. 9, as God brought more and more spouses of narcs to me, things shifted. I would work hard to get them to physically separate. I still wasn't willing to go all the way to divorce. Didn't think there was a biblical reason. So we separated a lot of them. But then, number 10, then a wise and godly woman reached out to me and asked me to consider a third biblical reason for divorce. This was a fan of my ministry and a supporter. Chronic emotional and or physical abuse. She said, look at that as a possible third biblical reason. She urged me to read Dr. Wayne. In fact, she mailed me the book. She urged me to read Dr. Wayne Grudem's work on this third reason. I did my research, and it was like a window opened up. It was a God thing. No question about it. 11, I believe this third biblical reason based on Dr. Wayne Grudem's work and my careful study of the Bible. And so I do recommend divorce to the person married to a narcissist. Absolutely I do. Now, I don't toss the word narcissist out easily. I need to know for sure. If I do a phone advice session with someone, man or woman, and a careful evaluation in 45 minutes, I will know if that person's a narc or not. Absolutely I will. And if that's the case, yeah, then we go to divorce. If it's not a narc, I don't recommend it.